In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I believe that cruising is the best option for first-time solo travelers. I recently just went on my first solo cruise ever aboard the Discovery Princess, and honestly, it was one of the best travel experiences I've had so far. However, it was not my first solo trip. My first solo trip was to Mexico, to San Miguel de Allende, and although it was a wonderful trip, I wish I hadn't have started out that way. And here I'm going to give you the top 5 reasons why I think if it's your first time ever solo traveling, you might want to consider a cruise. Let's go ahead and get started with number 1, less planning stress. Look, I love to plan a good trip. I've been planning trips, for my family, the whole time that we've been traveling. So it's always me who does the planning, but I don't really complain about it because I do enjoy the process. However, when you're planning for just yourself in a location that you've never been to, it can be really stressful. Because for me, there was some anxiety about going to different places alone or eating in restaurants alone. I just didn't know how I would feel about that, and it made the planning that much more stressful. On a cruise, you don't really have to plan anything. You just pick your cruise and your itinerary. You just don't have all the decision fatigue. You don't have to Google what are the best restaurants or look on TikTok for all the can't miss places to eat or see. You don't have to scour reviews for hotels and Airbnbs and then decide, am I going to feel safe as a solo traveler staying in an Airbnb? What if I get there and the neighborhood is a little bit sketchy, or I just don't feel safe in general? On a cruise ship, your accommodations, all the restaurants, everything is just right there. Sure, you can decide if you want to make a reservation at a specialty restaurant or not, but you can change that on a whim. You can wait until you get aboard the ship and you can eat at the buffet every night. You can go to the main dining room. You can go to specialty restaurants, casualty restaurants. The choices are endless, but you don't have to really think ahead. You just show up, see what you like, and go where the flow takes you. And you only have a limited amount of choices, which for a first-time solo traveler can be good. There will be plenty of choices, just not an overwhelming amount of choices to make. You don't even have to think about transportation, really, because almost all the cruise lines offer transport from the airport to the cruise line and from the cruise ship back to the airport. So it's just all around less choices, less planning. You know where the cruise ship is going to go. There are a certain amount of restaurants and eating venues aboard. You don't have to plan for anything. Number 2, it's a safe and secure environment. Nothing is 100% safe because you're going to have idiots no matter where you go. But in general, a cruise ship is a much safer option for a solo traveler. And specifically for me, being a solo female traveler, it just gives me a lot of security knowing that I'm surrounded by other people that I can go to with a concern or an issue, and there's lots of witnesses around in case anything happens. And then there's also the staff of the cruise ship and security aboard the cruise ship. They also keep track of your whereabouts by your stateroom card. So when you get a card on a cruise ship, you have to present that card, or if you're cruising with Princess, your medallion. You will present that when you get off the ship, at ports, and when you get back on. So you are accounted for. And there's another added layer of safety and security when it comes to being in the ports, because you can pick a cruise ship excursion. And in that case, you're guaranteed that they will not leave you if something goes wrong. As we all know, things happen. You can be going on a tour and the vehicle break down. If you don't get back in time, if something happens that delays an excursion that you're on and you booked it through the cruise line, they will not leave without you. And as a solo traveler, that gives me an added layer of comfort knowing that no matter what happens, I'm not going to be stranded in a foreign country alone. Number 3, you don't have to worry about being lonely. I know not everybody worries about this, and I am an introvert at heart. I do not mind a lot of alone time. However, I don't want to be alone all the time, as I found out when I took my trip to Mexico. I didn't like not having anyone to share anything with on this trip, as amazing as it was. I did feel a little bit lonely at times. You know, I learned myself and that I do need people to an extent on a trip, whether they go with me or it's just I find a way to meet people once I'm at a place. I learned that about myself. And on a ship, there are a multitude of ways to connect with other human beings. Number 1, there are generally solo meetups on a cruise. You can check the itinerary, and usually right at the beginning, right on the first day usually, there will be solo meetups so that other solo travelers can see who else is traveling alone, see who they connect with, maybe make plans to meet up for lunch or dinner aboard the ship so they don't have to sit alone every night if they don't want to. There are also Facebook groups online for every cruise. I mentioned this in my top 13 tips for first-time cruisers, and I'll leave a link here. But the Facebook group, I always join this on every cruise that I go on. First of all, you learn about a lot of things that are happening that otherwise you wouldn't know about. They arrange things like slot pool tournaments, bar crawls, and other solos will speak up in the group and say, hey, I'm cruising solo. Any other solos on here? It's really easy to do. You would just type in the name of your cruise. So if you're going on Carnival Jubilee, October 10th through October 17th, then that's how you find the group for your particular cruise. And it is a great way to connect with people and get excited about the cruise before it even starts. Also, some lines such as Virgin and NCL, and I've scheduled my first Virgin solo cruise. Look, that should tell you something. I enjoyed my solo experience so much that I came home and immediately booked another solo cruise, this time on Virgin Voyages. And on Virgin and NCL, they have specific programs geared towards solo travelers. So they offer not just a single meetup, but they offer activities for people who are traveling solo. Another great way to connect and meet new friends. You can also join a group cruise. Now, this isn't as suffocating as you might think. Any of my fellow introverts out there, you're like, group cruise? No. A group cruise will usually be a group of like-minded individuals. All of those people will come together, and then they will offer different activities, on different days to give everybody an opportunity to get together. But that's at your discretion. You can show up to those events or not, but you're guaranteed to have people there who you may have something in common with, or who may be traveling alone also. It's kind of like a guaranteed social network that you can opt in or opt out of. There are group cruises for everything. I'm a compulsive YouTube watcher, so I've seen group cruises on many different subjects. Plus, I'm a cruiser. I'm a cruise tuber myself, so I'm always searching for new, fun, cool cruises to go on. So I did this experiment. You can just get on Google and you can type in whatever your hobby or your thing is. And for the purpose of demonstration, I typed in group cruises for knitters. It was just the first most random thing that popped into my head. And as you can see, there are several choices on here for knitting cruises. So you never have to worry about being lonely if you don't want to be. Number 4, the variety of experiences you will get to have on just one vacation. One 7-day cruise offers such a huge variety. It depends on what line you go on, but just some of the things that I've experienced on a cruise, there are ice skating rinks, roller coasters, water slides, rock climbing walls. I haven't been on the ship that has the iFly thing where you kind of you get in the tube and it's like you're skydiving. Is it called iDive or iSky? I don't know, whatever. Indoor skydiving. There are Broadway caliber shows on some of these ships, particularly Disney and Royal Caribbean come to mind with some of the best entertainment at sea. There is karaoke, comedians, deck parties, nightclubs. There are classes. Cruise lines offer wine tastings, whiskey tastings, cooking classes, all kinds of arts and crafts classes, trivia. There's board game groups that meet up on some of these cruises. Like, you literally will have so many things to keep you occupied. Or if you really want to chill out, you can just go lay by the pool. You can get a thermal suite pass if your ship has a thermal suite. You can't really do this on Royal Caribbean because they're thermal suites. But anyways, a lot of cruise lines have wonderful thermal suites with thalassotherapy pools and heated stone loungers and aromatherapy steam rooms and dry saunas. And you can just go lay in there and indulge and relax and take your Kindle and have a really chill day. The opportunities are endless. And the difference between lounging on a cruise ship and lounging in, say, an all-inclusive resort is you can be on the pool deck and have a different view every day. You're going to pull up to different countries every day. Well, not every day, but a lot of days. You're going to wake up and you're going to be in a brand new place with the safety and security of the cruise line, knowing your whereabouts, and the cruise offered excursions. And number 5, the confidence boost that you will get from kind of taking a baby step into solo travel, and you will learn what kind of solo traveler you are. That's why I wish I had done this first, because I could see how long can I be alone and not be uncomfortable or start to feel a little sad. How comfortable am I navigating a city in a foreign country alone? You know, on a cruise, you have the safety of knowing you can just go back to the cruise ship if you feel overwhelmed. You know, you can walk as far out as you would like. You may even be brave and take a taxi and go see somewhere else. But you can always just come back if you feel a little bit overwhelmed. And it's not like what happened to me on my Mexico trip when I got overwhelmed. I was just stuck inside of a hotel room, you know, with nowhere to go and nothing to do because I kind of froze. On a cruise ship, if I come back because I get overwhelmed at a port destination, I don't have to go close myself up in my room. I can still go lay by the pool, go listen to music, go play trivia, go do whatever it is that I want to do. I don't have to just be shut up in a room. And another bonus perk is even if I was shut up in my room, if you get a balcony cabin, I can be shut up on a balcony with my Kindle for an entire day looking at the ocean go by, and I'm going to be just fine. So anyway, I hope that you have gotten some benefit out of this video. I hope that if you were on the edge of deciding, should I take a solo cruise or should I not? Or if you really just want to go somewhere and you can't find anybody to go with you and you're a little bit too scared to venture out to some exotic place alone for the first time, let this be your sign. Book a cruise. It can be a short cruise. You can do a 3-day, a 4-day. It doesn't have to be a week-long cruise. And you can start to build that confidence up. If you're interested in hearing how my first solo cruise was, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Next week will be my last video in a series all about my solo trip on the Discovery Princess. This video will cover days 4 through 7, where I visit the ports of Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, until next time, Happy cruising.